All right, there's a lots of strands to discuss, including what's going to happen next. And we try to be forward looking, but I want to talk about two things that are seemingly backward looking, but with implications for going forward. The first is 30 House Republicans defied the explicit request of Donald J. Trump. Sean, why did they do that? Like they could have all just voted yes and headed home. Why did they vote? Why did they vote no?
I texted with a couple of them last night. I mean, their view is we didn't come here to increase spending. We're not going to be part of the problem. And by the way, I don't see from my conversations with some of these folks last night, they're not backing down. They're like, this is a principle thing.
So
This is about
what did they want to vote for?
a clean CR.
Through March with nothing else on it, not even
I
disaster
don't think the
relief?
date was the issue.
Well, but do they want disaster relief?
No, clean CR.
Clean CR. All right, Dan, what does it mean for Donald Trump's power? For days we've been talking about him as like King Kong, Godzilla, King of the Hill, controls the whole thing. He couldn't have been more clear. I killed this thing, vote for this thing. They vote no. What does that say to you?
Well, some of us weren't saying he was Godzilla, that once he had to start governing, we would see the messiness and he'd start burning Capitol down. It tells me that the no caucus is going to be the no caucus. And this is a problem because the only way that he can get around them is going to be to cut deals with Democrats. And then you get into this idea of will the base accept cutting deals? And I think, as you say, Mark, the last month, the way it's been talked about is like he has a full head of steam and he's going to just flatten everybody in front of him. But these House members have been doing this for 15 years. People have threatened primaries, and here they are.
So
So
can I
Dan,
just
yeah, go
lay
ahead.
the
Go
land
ahead.
for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Johnson had to go through the motions last night of showing Donald Trump, hey, look, your debt ceiling thing, I'll do it for you,
Yeah,
but it's not going to pass. He had to show him that it wasn't going to
yeah,
work. And
yeah.
so what's going to happen today is they'll try to get a purity vote. The problem is that, Anna Paulina Luna, as Dan, I think, or you referred to with that Jake Sherman quote, if they go it alone and then try to send it to the Senate, the question is Schumer right? And so you're
No.
exactly. So their problem
Well,
is from a strategic standpoint, they're going to go with all ours. They're trying to get all ours on board in the House. Then they would send it to the Senate that would reject it. And then they got to, I mean, I'm just telling you, here's the crystal ball. Shutdown happens tonight. They work through the weekend. Sunday night at, 7:42, they're going to come to a deal. But they have to go through these machinations as a family.
and
Yeah.
this is
I
what
mean,
they did. If you recall, this is what Boehner did when Ted Cruz insisted on shutting it down. And they had to go through all of this. The problem, though, is it's not just Chuck Schumer. Tom Tillis in the North Carolina delegation is going to say, no way, because we need the disaster relief. Like, it is going to be bipartisan. Nope, a clean CR doesn't work for us in the
it's
Senate.
hard. It's hard to game out what Democrats will demand once the czar is open, right? Because they don't seem to be in a mood to settle for anything or to cut a break to Trump or Johnson or Musk. And they like the original deal. And so
Well, but
anything
this is
short of the
why this is
original
why
deal,
I said this yesterday. This is why you do a short-term CR and say, guys, we'll kick the can to January 5th, 6th, 7th. We'll come back. We'll deal with disaster age, the bridge, all your other stuff, the farm bill. But you have to keep it short and nuanced in order to, because Republicans can actually turn the tables right now and say, hey, we're keeping the government open for 10 days. Democrats are against it. Why?
well, so if that happened, right? Trump wants the debt ceiling out of the way. And I
Yes, he
see why he
does.
does. So you could conceivably do that between January 3rd or January 6th and January 20th. So in other words, Trump might support a short-term CR. He might,
Right.
right? But we don't know that.